I not how hard it is to do the show I work on. You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average, I couldn't be okay, I couldn't be late, I couldn't complain.
What is happening at Fox Sports? By now, you've likely heard of the explosive lawsuit filed against some prominent figures in sports media. But what if I told you that the accusations might be even more alarming than you realize? Ultimately, these are just claims, so hold off on making any conclusions. However, that hasn't stopped the internet from putting Joy Taylor in the hot seat after allegations emerged that she used inappropriate means to advance her career. These claims originated from a former hairdresser at Fox Sports who has sued Fox Corporation and various Fox branches, essentially implicating the whole network. The defendants named in the lawsuit include Charlie Dixon, the executive vice president of content, who've been with the company for over 10 years, Skip Bayless, who departed from the company rather quietly considering his usual loud presence last August, and Joy Taylor, the former host of Skip, and Shannon, undisputed and current host of Speak. This hairdresser, Nan Faraji, has made serious allegations of sexual harassment and sexual battery, along with other outrageous and disturbing behaviors occurring behind the scenes at what is supposed to be America's sports network. Faraji worked part-time as a hairdresser for Fox from 2012 to 2016 before transitioning to a full-time role. During this time, Fox was gaining significant traction after Skip Bayless left ESPN, which essentially marked the end of an era. On First Take, Skip partnered with Shannon Sharpe to create a sort of spin off of the show's format. No other program on the network, aside from live sports, could generate as much buzz as Skip and Shannon did with Undisputed. However, like First Take, this wasn't solely a two-person presentation. Every show requires a female host to introduce topics and moderate the debates, which in this case was Joy Taylor. This choice was...
All know that when you see Stephen A. Smith with a subject like this and the name involves Skip Bayless, that's what you want to know about. And here's what I would tell you. I don't know what happened. But just like I said, I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I can't imagine that. I've known Skip for just as long. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Especially when they brought up the $1.5 million. The Skip Bayless I know has a hard time giving away $15. He's one of the cheapest people I know. That's just me. But that doesn't mean that I have any inside knowledge about any of this. I don't, and I'm not going to get involved.
Stephen A. seemed to withhold his judgment while also holding on to the idea that he doesn't believe his friend was capable of this.
Unexpected, as Taylor was then a bartender and radio host with limited television experience and was only available to fill slots at Fox under unusual circumstances. When Fox announced they needed a woman with significant TV experience to co-anchor, it raised concerns. Allegations from Faraji suggested a connection. He claimed that he and Taylor had previously worked together and were friends outside of work. Faraji's Instagram featured numerous photos of Taylor's hair, which might be common for any hairstylist, but he also alleged that Joy would often go out for drinks with Charlie Dixon, leading to speculation about them having an affair, even though both were married at the time. Faraji only learned about Dixon's role at the company after mentioning that she had seen him. Who buys her drinks in the office elevator, now Joy silenced her to keep her calm and reassured her not to stress about the predicament despite the risks involved. But everything clicked when in July 2016, Joy had ascended from being a minor role on set with no permanent position to the host of what was projected to be the biggest success to date at that time. Skip reportedly opposed Joy hosting the show as he was the more prominent figure in sports media in 2016, although he has certainly been overshadowed by her now. Securing approval from Skip, who had just inked a $32 million contract with F-Zone, was essential. So at a dinner shared between them, Joy dressed and behaved quite suggestively towards Skip to gain his favor, or at least his approval, to host the show. After Charlie Dixon's request, Skip ultimately granted Joy the green light from him right before Undisputed debuted. The show became a tremendous success that catapulted Joy Taylor into stardom, while also enhancing the careers of Skip and Shannon. Faraji agreed to continue styling Taylor's hair for the duration of the show, and soon began doing Skip's hair as well. Shortly after the show's premiere, Joy celebrated her birthday with a party attended by both Charlie Dixon and Faraji. This is where events took a drastic turn. Faraji claims that Dixon became extremely intoxicated and approached her near the bar. He attempted to engage her in conversation, asked if she wanted a drink, and then proceeded to touch her lower back before groping her. Faraji subsequently went to Taylor, unsure of who else to confide in, only to receive a dismissive response, with Taylor suggesting she should let it go. Taylor remarked that her own job was dependent on Dixon, and Faraji's position hinged on Taylor, implying that both could be easily taken away by him. Faraji then turned to another co-worker, who remained unnamed in the lawsuit, and expressed that Mr. Dixon's behavior was appalling and disturbing. However, due to the culture at Fox, this co-worker advised Faraji to stay silent, echoing Taylor's warning that she might lose her job quickly as a single mother with a young son. Faraji ultimately chose to remain silent. Now, both Joy and Charlie are facing a lawsuit due to the incident at the party. However, the claims against Joy Taylor do not cease. Faraji asserts that Joy would have
just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
allegedly continue to sleep her way up Fox's ranks, specifically with Emmanuel Acho. Today, Acho can be seen on the program formerly called Speak for Yourself, which now includes hosts like Acho, Joy Taylor, Keshawn Johnson, and Paul Pierce, though it was previously led by Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley. In 2020, Whitlock departed from Fox Sports, creating an opening for another host to join Wiley, and Acho stepped in, quickly elevating his career in sports media. Faraji also claims that Taylor invited her to lunch in Beverly Hills, where, similar to Dixon, Taylor sat next to Acho, and Faraji could sense their romantic involvement. Again, like Dixon, Faraji would notice Acho in the office and inquire with Joy about his employment at Fox, where Taylor stated she hoped Acho would endorse her for hosting Speak for Yourself. The show underwent a slight rebranding with some cast changes, and re-emerged under the title Speak, featuring their new host, Joy Taylor. Photos have emerged showing Acho kicking off his shoes at Joy's place, suggesting an unusually close relationship for colleagues, as well as videos that show him a bit strangely enthusiastic for his new host, just wrapped up rehearsal for the new program Speak, and I must take a moment to acknowledge my co-host Joy Taylor, a woman, a black woman, daily show sports. Do you all recognize how challenging it is to reach the role she occupies so frequently? There's misogyny and sexism rampant in sports, and we often disregard what women have to say in the realm of sports. But Joy is not only in a television position as a woman, as a black woman, but also as an opinion leader, so not just asking men for their views, but sharing her own unique and distinct perspective. It's tough to achieve, and Joy, you have accomplished it, so congratulations. Eager to collaborate with you, and hope you all tune in 4:30 to 6:0 Eastern every day starting next week. Now, let's return to 2020, when Faraji would learn that Taylor was having an affair with Acho and Dixon. She cautioned Taylor that if Dixon discovered her involvement with AO, it would be the end of her career, since Dixon held significant power, but then Taylor clarified that she was now a powerful woman too, and once Dixon was no longer valuable, she would execute her plan to report to the company that he assaulted her. She asserts that other women previously have been forced out by Dixon, and by using false accusations, she wouldn't allow herself to be ensnared in the same trap, although not at all compromising video emerged appearing to age poorly of Joy, discussing the efforts needed to achieve her position. If these claims turn out to be true, how could I not be aware of the difficulty in the show I work on? You must continuously reassure yourself that you are worthy and belong, and then consistently demonstrate that worth. I often express that you need to put in double the effort to receive a fraction of the opportunity, But to me, that mindset has always been about improvement. That's why I excel. I had to. I couldn't settle for mediocrity or be average. I couldn't afford to be late, complain, or refuse. Now I do. This encapsulates the core of the allegations made against Taylor within the workplace, stemming from a class action lawsuit filed against the entire company. This allows any employees who have faced misconduct like what is alleged or issues such as unpaid overtime and other compensation-related claims to participate in legal action against those involved. Notable individuals have emerged in connection with the lawsuit. Dave Portnoy has a history with these cases and took to Twitter stating, "My meter is at 100 million trillion in this Fox SBS lawsuit." Simply accusing people of doesn't make it truth. Time will reveal everything. I believe all the accused should disregard their lawyers and vigorously defend themselves. If they are innocent, it's certainly appropriate to withhold judgment until all facts are revealed. However, considering his experiences with flawed lawsuits, I can't fault the head of a corporation for feeling compelled to express his thoughts. It's human nature to draw personal conclusions. The former host of Speak for Yourself, Jason Whitlock, has definitely formed his own opinions. There's an attractive girl, Jason Taylor's sister. Let's put her on the radio, but she hasn't really accomplished much yet. Somehow, she qualifies to be the host of Undisputed, a debate show featuring Skip Bayless, who, like him or not, was a successful sports journalist in his day and Hall of Fame. Football player Shannon Sharpe. Shannon reached the pinnacle of the sports industry, and Skip achieved the highest level in sports media, while Joy Taylor has only done some radio work in Miami. What does she bring to the table? So why does she land that position? Is it because she has a big bust and, according to some, she's willing to show it off? Jason's a bit outrageous, as I mentioned, outside of Joy. Skip Bayless also asked Raju to style his hair for Undisputed, during which she claims Skip developed a fondness for her. She asserts that Skip would get overly familiar, giving her odd hugs and kisses on the cheek. She alleged that Skip would even call her voluptuous, taking her as a muse, despite her lack of understanding of the term since English was her second language. When she inquired about its meaning, he told her to figure it out. The supposed advances became increasingly direct and aggressive, which she perceived as attempts to coerce her into a sexual relationship. Raji further claims that when she rebuffed his advances in 2021 by reminding him of his marriage, he responded with offensive remarks regarding her Muslim heritage, implying that her father had multiple wives. She reportedly informed him that her father had passed away, but the incident left a significant impact. She tried to steer conversations away from inappropriate subjects while fulfilling her job responsibilities, but felt trapped in a cycle of mistreatment. Fraji faced issues with her left ovary in 2021 and feared it could be cancer. She shared this situation with Skip, hoping he would feel empathy and halt the inappropriate advances, but the allegations take a strange turn here. Upon hearing about her possible cancer, she claims Skip expressed a desire to be with her, grabbed her hands, and started kissing them. Fraji panicked, began to ramble about cameras being everywhere, and then Skip allegedly offered her $1.5 million for sex, where she would create an excuse and exit. Now this could be the most bizarre claim throughout the entire lawsuit, not to imply that other claims aren't damaging and significant, but this one was unquestionably the most far-fetched. Many individuals online have suggested that
News of the day, absolutely, it does. What y'all want me to say?
That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So there's nothing to address. I don't know why everybody if you notice, everybody's posted it. They got me. In the 42 pages, it don't mention nothing about Shannon Sharpe did anything. But y'all want to get clicks, so y'all mention me.
Right. Yep.
the incident is plausible, considering that $1.5 million is trivial for Skip B. And though the claim is feasible, Skip earned $8 million annually before tax. Thus, $1.5 million isn't trivial for Skip B. When tying him into any controversy, the individual that will forever be linked to his name is Stephen A. Smith, who had the audacity to comment regarding his former co-host's accusations, but we are all aware that when you see Stephen A. Smith discussing a topic like this involving the name Skip B, that's what you want to hear about. Here's what I would convey. I can't determine what transpired, But just like I've mentioned, I've known Jay-Z for 25 years, and I can't envisage that I have known Skip just as long. It's hard to believe, especially when they mentioned the $1.5 million since the skip. B. I know struggles to part with $15. He's among the most frugal people I'm aware of, that's just my view. However, this doesn't imply I possess any insider knowledge regarding this matter. I don't. I'm not getting involved. Stephen A. appeared to reserve his judgment, while also holding on to the belief that he doesn't think his friend could commit such an act. In the previous segment, he detailed the backlash he received when defending Jay-Z. When accusations were directed at him, similar to Skip, it seems that many people dislike him, and, in both scenarios, there are factions that desire these allegations to be accurate. This comparison isn't quite fair. I'm not suggesting Skip is linked to any confirmed criminals, but the JC situation illustrates how a generally unpopular individual can have their unpopularity validated by accusations, only for more details to emerge that undermine some of those claims, as appears to be happening in his instance. Stephen A. seemed ready to support Skip more openly, whereas Skip's other former friend didn't appear inclined to do likewise. As for today's news, absolutely, I'll say there's nothing connected to us. That isn't my concern, so there's nothing to respond to. I don't understand why everyone keeps bringing it up. If you've noticed, people are sharing details about me in the 42 pages, yet it doesn't indicate anything about Shannon Sharpe. You're just looking for clicks, mentioning me without any relevance to H or any wrongdoing in the matter. Though he wasn't entirely accurate in stating his name wasn't brought up, Fry claims that Skip misconstrued her relationship with Shannon as sexual. This confronted Faraji in a room full of microphones, even recognizing the place was bugged, yet went on to voice complaints to her regardless. She mentioned that she couldn't be involved in something significant with my main competitor, and that he would dislike her losing her job. In response, she said she was merely being courteous to Shannon, to which Biss replied, "I'm calling on you." Skip further cautioned her about the chance of losing her job due to this and expressed, "I have love for you, and I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, ruining this for R." She reiterated that she needed to be polite to everyone on set, leading Skip to hint that if he stopped asking for her as a hairdresser, she might lose her job. Subsequently, Skip would later inform Faraji that it was Dixon who revealed to him that Faraji was involved with Shannon, which she claimed was untrue. Faraji also asserted that there are text messages from Skip about the matter, in which she refuted having any involvement with Shen. These messages have yet to become public and remain unverified, like the rest of the allegations. However, since many of these claims are, she said, discussions, if the recorded conversation with Skip or the text messages emerge, it could significantly impact substantiating the allegations. In the event that they are not accessible to disprove aspects of her narrative, the situation concerning Undisputed will conclude in August 2024. Skip will make a rather quiet departure from the organization, along with Faraji, as Fox has stated that her services are no longer required. Faraji asserts that Dixon offered her to Skip as merely a plaything, following her fallout with Joy Taylor. Once Skip departed, so did she. As mentioned earlier, she has filed lawsuits for sexual battery against Charlie Dixon for his groping at the party, and also against Skip for his persistent hugs and cheek kisses. Additionally, she is suing Fox for employing these individuals and is seeking their removal, specifically Joy Taylor and Dixon. Furthermore, she is taking legal action against Fox for permitting such conduct under their establishment. Fox Sports responded to the claims, essentially stating little more than they regard the situation with utmost seriousness. Skip has refrained from commenting on the allegations, as have Acho and Joy Taylor, although they have returned to the studio as per usual. For the millionth time, these remain allegations and should be regarded as such until verified. Faraji's account lacks substantiation, yet the internet has gone into a frenzy over this situation. It appears that Joy Taylor is receiving most of the backlash despite her claims being unverified. Moving up the totem pole, ignoring her friend's harassment, and planning to weaponize false accusations are all completely unsubstantiated at this time. Women advancing in the workplace through relationships is not particularly uncommon, and unfortunately, neither is the manipulation of allegations. Once people online caught wind that the woman dressing provocatively on Undisputed was involved in something like this, it seems that many subconsciously reacted with a Jason Whitlock mindset. As for Skip, the assertion that he would pay $5 million for sex while married is quite extreme, as many individuals have already expressed skepticism regarding the allegations. If true, it would certainly undermine the credibility of the other claims. As it stands, this story remains unverified but has undeniably stirred up the sports world. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.